made to you so special? Nothing. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn!
Were you scared of that?
Ah.
Not at all, huh?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm from Brooklyn.
You're from Brooklyn, huh?
Okay guys, Frank Stout, just a guy from Brooklyn, and I'm here to give you a big Daredevil ranking. We're talking movies, we're talking television, every appearance he's ever had. He's one of my favorite Marvel heroes. When people ask me to describe the character, I usually say he's kind of a blind Batman with not much money, and both those characters have a lot in common. Both are street level heroes, both had parents that were killed by organized crime, and both are ninjas. Obviously, Batman is a way more popular character, but for me, it was always Daredevil. But I want to get right to it, so let's go through my 2 rules so we can get this going. Rule number 1 is spoilers. Pretty much everything here is old except for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which is only midway through. I will not be spoiling that. For everything else, I'm spoiling everything. So, hard spoiler warning, but not for the new stuff. Rule number 2, as always, this is a favorites list, not a best list. So the best way you can get back at me about my list is to show me yours through the comments section. Kicking things off at honorable mention number 1 is She-Hulk Attorney at Law, came out in 2022 on Disney+. He shows up, has a fight or two, he has a different color costume, and a retcon of the way he gets his outfits. But it's at the bottom of the list because, yeah, he sleeps with She-Hulk and ends up doing the walk of shame. As far as what I think of the TV Hulk show, she can tell you herself.
This is a mess. None of these storylines make any sense.
Coming in at honorable mention number 2 is Echo, released on Disney Plus in 2024. People thought that he was going to be a regular on the show, but what we got was a small cameo where Echo fights him, and then he's gone for the whole show. And really, it's totally forgettable, just like the show itself. Maybe if you had put him in the story, somebody might give a shit. Coming in at honorable mention number 3 is Spider-Man No Way Home, came out in 2021. Yes, another cameo, but only as Matt Murdock, as he helps to defend Peter Parker. It was a really nice moment in the theater. Audiences smiled, they cheered, but really, there's no Daredevil in this movie. Coming in at number 10 is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, released on Disney Plus in 2025. This is an animated alternate reality version of Spider-Man where he is mentored by Norman Osborn instead of Tony Stark. You get an episode where Spidey meets and fights Daredevil, and Double D never looked better. He's comic accurate, moves like Daredevil should, and he even has the correct theme song. I really like this version. I wish there was more of him on the show, but unfortunately it is animated and therefore it ends up at the bottom of this list. Coming in at number 9 is The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, released in 1989. A made-for-TV movie that continued the original Hulk TV series from the 70s, and Bill Bixby even directed it. You got Lou Ferrigno coming back to play the Hulk, and it focuses on David Banner, not Bruce. In the TV show, he was David Banner. He is set up by Wilson Fisk by being arrested and standing trial, and you got Rex Smith, who plays Matt Murdock, who comes in to defend Banner. For those of you who love that pre-Daredevil black costume that he wears in the Netflix series, guess what? He's got an outfit very similar to this here. The show is cheesy and dated, but it does have a lot of charm, and I really like the story. It's fun. They made a couple of these. They even had one with Thor, and that one was fantastic as well. Coming in at number 8 is Daredevil Season 3, released on Netflix in 2018. A post-Defenders story centered around Daredevil recovering from a skyscraper falling on top of him. Meanwhile, Kingpin manipulates the city into giving him power, and he enlists a federal agent who would later become Bullseye. Daredevil's mother, a nun, played by Janine Watley, was my favorite new character of the season as she nurses him back to health, giving him that Hell's Kitchen tough love. But I really did not like this version of Bullseye, and seeing him running around in Daredevil's outfit really rubbed me the wrong way. And Fisk taking power almost overnight is just ridiculous. They basically tried to do what Born Again eventually did, but Born Again did it better. I'm just not buying any of this bread. Coming in at number 7 is Daredevil, came out in 2003. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner, and Colin Farrell make a bad comic book movie, but it's got some really good stuff in it. And for me, I call it a guilty pleasure. First is the soundtrack, with that 2000s rap meet rock craze, fully in bloom, sporting 2 Evanescence songs, both of which straight bangers. And guess what? Daredevil's radar sense is better here. Did I stutter? His origin story is shorter, simpler, and it connects to Kingpin more directly. Kind of like what they did with Batman 89. It takes place mostly at night and is very cinematic and stylish, drawing inspiration from movies like The Crow. It even recreated the fire scene from The Crow, which would later be used again in The Dark Knight Returns. Michael Clark Duncan, may he rest in peace, was a surprisingly solid Kingpin. You've also got the red leather Daredevil costume, and Bullseye and Elektra's outfits were even worse. They were terrible. But to be fair, this was a sign of those times. Which leads me to the playground scene. A scene that absolutely destroyed the movie. There's no coming back from this. This was just so cringy. Looking back, Affleck was probably miscast. He's definitely got a better body type for something like Batman than Daredevil, which is ironic because he played both roles.
I guess irony can be pretty ironic sometimes.
Coming in at number 6 is Daredevil Born Again Season 1, released on Disney Plus in 2025. Marvel Studios wanted to do a full reboot with all new characters, got rid of Foggy, got rid of Karen, and wanted to go in a new direction. The fans said no, we want Netflix Daredevil, we want a continuation of that, and this led to last-minute changes, last-minute additions, changes to the story. Basically, the fans got what they wanted, but the story suffered a little. It's extremely centered on Daredevil and Kingpin, leaving everyone else in the far background. But the storyline was great, with Fisk becoming mayor of New York City and creating a rogue squad of police to take down vigilantes. Having Murdoch defend White Tiger, a Puerto Rican superhero on trial, was a really nice touch. There's a beautiful episode with Tiger talking about the coqui, the famous frog, which is indigenous to Puerto Rico, and that touched my heart in ways you could not fathom. There were some added scenes with Punisher, and it was a nice mix of old and new characters, which you can tell just wasn't in the original plan. But I'd say the fans got it right this time. Thumbs up! Coming in at number 5 is Daredevil Director's Cut, came out in 2004. It's longer, with more of a courtroom drama story at the center, involving rapper Coolio of all people. Yep, that's right, Coolio. And there's no getting around it. It's a better movie, despite it still containing all the previous flaws, like the playground scene. It has a more serious feel to it, and even has a few Easter eggs, like Matt's nun mom showing up in a scene with him in a deprivation tank. You see Murdoch using his Daredevil abilities to investigate the murder Coolio's character is on trial for. There's also little minor changes like Daredevil and Elektra not having sex. Come on, man, let that guy get some. I love the movie. I've been recommending it to people for years. It's still a guilty pleasure, but with a little bit more nuance to it. Coming in at number 4 is Daredevil Born Again Season 2, released by Disney Plus. And yes, it's only 3 episodes deep, but off to a great start. And it's the only entry that could rise or fall in this ranking, depending on how it all pans out. Unlike that tunnel vision you feel in Season 1, Characters are given more screen time and development, and everything is expanding. There's new additions like Matthew Lillard playing Mr. Charles, and Kristen Ritter returns as Jessica Jones, hopefully for more than just a cameo. And this is all leading to a lot of talk of a Defenders return in Season 3. I really hope so. I am all in. Coming in at number 3 is Marvel's The Defenders, released on Netflix in 2017. The first 4 to 5 episodes are almost Avengers level stuff, albeit in that street level kind of way. But it all goes downhill after that as they turn Iron Fist into a MacGuffin that the enemy needs to continue being immortal. Elektra works as a living weapon and their new main villain, but Sigourney Weaver, despite being a big name, did not as the leader of the Hand. I loved the way the first episodes introduced everyone using their primary colors. Scott Glenn does his best work here playing Stick, but at the end of the day, this was a disappointment because it really needed more episodes and a better ending. But for me, this is something I still love to rewatch. I'm a fan of all these characters, even Finn Jones, who plays Iron Fist. I really hope he gets another chance to prove himself. And coming in at number 2, my runner-up is Daredevil Season 1, released by Netflix in 2015. You've got a more grounded, gritty, and more detailed origin story. It's all very Batman Begins, as Daredevil, for the most part, takes an absolute beating for the majority of the show. Affleck's Daredevil is checkers, but this is clearly chess. He doesn't even don the costume till the final episode. The supporting cast, stellar. Eldon Henson as Foggy, who you might recognize from the Mighty Ducks. Deborah Ann Woll plays Karen Page, who you might have seen in HBO's True Blood. And legend Vincent D'Onofrio plays Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. There's also small additions like Rosario Dawson as the night nurse, which was a really nice touch. Charlie Cox, just coming off of a role in Boardwalk Empire, is also perfectly casted to play Daredevil. It's all just set up as a perfect storm. So what stops it from getting the top spot? Too many filler episodes. Every time Daredevil stops to wrestle with his Catholicism, I want to vomit. Let him do that shit off screen. We want the action. And let me tell you, they have some great fight scenes. The famous hallway battle all in one take. There's another in the rain in an alley right before he meets Dawson. And he even battles a hand ninja, almost killing himself in the process. This is definitely the definitive Daredevil, and nobody's going to argue with that. And coming in at number 1 is Daredevil Season 2, released on Netflix in 2016. Netflix didn't quite figure out the filler episode problem, but splitting this season up into 2 separate stories definitely helped. The first one is all about John Barenthal's introduction as the Punisher, and I don't think it's been topped since. Sometimes the less you see is far more scarier than when you can. The second story introduces Elodie Young as Elektra, a much more darker wildcard version compared to Garner. Stick comes and goes, and I just can't get enough of him on the screen. And with Elektra and Stick comes the emergence of the Hand, a secret ninja society controlling everything. They're basically a Japanese Hydra, but with more of a mystical element to them. You've also got a ton of great battles here. Daredevil versus Punisher, Punisher versus an entire hospital, Kingpin versus Punisher, and so much more. Well, guys, that about wraps it up. What are your thoughts on Daredevil, and what is your favorite version of him? From the city that never sleeps, peace, baby.
This is a Brooklyn-bound express train. The next stop is Brooklyn Bridge.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.